Leading candidates of the European elections participate in a final debate.
The next European Commission will be more inclined to the right than the current one, Nicola Procaccini, co-president of the ECR in the European Parliament, said during an interview with Euronews.
As Israel continues to advance in Rafah's southeast, the IDF says it has completed a 2-day operation in the city of Jenin in the occupied West Bank.
At least 7 people are killed in a massive printing house shelling in Kharkiv as Ukraine struggles to fight off Russia's incursion in the northeast.
The far right was the elephant in the room during the last debate of the leading candidates ahead of the European elections. Despite this, the two far-right political groups of the parliament did not participate. The most intense moments revolved around the possibility of cooperating with the ultra-conservatives of ECR. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission and EPP candidate, said that Giorgia Meloni, Italy's Prime Minister, fulfills 2 criteria for a possible partnership.
The topics we're going to offer, there we're going to see whether those who are pro-European, and she is clearly pro-European, against Putin, she's been very clear on that one, and pro-rule of law, if this holds, and then we offer to work together.
Ursula von der Leyen was strongly criticised by Nicola Schmidt, the lead candidate of the Socialist Party, who commented that both the hard-right ECR and far-right ID groups are not democratic.
I wonder what is pro-Europe for you, because I heard Mrs. Meloni at this Madrid conference making a speech, and I cannot imagine that her idea of Europe is the same you have. But we need clarity. The same thing applies to pro-rule of law, and this is essential. Without pro-rule of law, there cannot be a union.
Harry Reinske from the Greens pressed the Renew Europe candidate Sandro Gozzi about the Dutch Liberal VVD, which is ready to enter into a governing coalition with the far right in the Netherlands.
I'm sorry to say, Mr. Gozzi, but I cannot let you off the hook so easily. And honestly, you cannot just tell us that you are going to solve this after the election. Have an extraordinary group meeting and expel VVD from your group.
We are concentrated on the 9th of June to win this election, and Valérie Hayer, our president of the group, has been very clear. On the 10th of June, we will have a clear debate, and we will discuss democratically like any group should do. Certainly, it won't take us years to decide about this, like it took years to the EPP on Orban.
Lead left candidate Walter Bayer put the emphasis on the need to improve social justice.
I'm shocked by that, what I hear from the Netherlands. I strongly believe that the core of the problem of the far right is the social question. And unless we give dignified lives, decent housing and secure jobs to the people, we will not be able to defeat the far right in Europe.
The ECR and ID were excluded from the debate as they haven't chosen a leading candidate.
The next European Commission will be more inclined to the right than the current one, Nicola Procaccini, co-president of the Conservatives and Reformist group in the European Parliament, said during an interview with Euronews. He criticized many of the initiatives taken by the Commission in the last 5 years under the leadership of popular socialists and liberals, starting from the choices of Franz Timmermans, the vice president with responsibility for climate.
Franz Timmermans ha avuto un potere persino maggiore di quella di Ursula von der Leyen, potendo anche realizzare il principale programma di governo della Commissione, il Green Deal. Fortunatamente questo è qualcosa che non sarà più possibile, perché indipendentemente da come vanno le elezioni europee, noi sappiamo già che la prossima Commissione europea sarà di centrodestra, perché i commissari vengono indicati dai governi, non vengono indicati dalle elezioni, i governi sono di centrodestra.
Però come conservatori sareste disposti a sostenere von der Leyen o un altro candidato del PPE?
Questa è una cosa che assolutamente dobbiamo vedere in base ai rapporti di forza, perché potrebbero essere loro a dover sostenere un nostro candidato.
According to Procaccini, stopping irregular immigration must be the first objective in the next legislature of his political group. He rejects the label of Eurosceptics, despite the anti-European narrative of the nationalist parties that compose it, such as Vox, Brothers of Italy, and Law and Justice.
È corretto definirvi euroscettici?
No, è molto sbagliato. Noi siamo coloro che vogliono tornare all'idea originale di Unione Europea, ovvero una alleanza di nazioni che fa poche cose insieme ma importanti, che fa quelle cose che gli stati nazionali da soli non sarebbero in grado di fare nel migliore dei modi.
Procaccini reiterates his opposition to any step forward in European integration. The full interview will be broadcasted on Euronews on Friday, May 24th.
As Israel continues to advance in Rafah's southeast, the IDF says it has completed a 2-day operation in the city of Jenin in the occupied West Bank. Palestine's health ministry says the operation killed 12 Palestinians and wounded 25 others. The operation was part of a crackdown against militants in the area. Surveillance footage published by an Israeli human rights organisation shows IDF soldiers entering a bakery in the village northwest of Ramallah in the West Bank, where they began assaulting Palestinian workers there. At a Northern Command assessment on Thursday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that we have detailed, important, even surprising plans, but I do not share these plans with the enemy. Hundreds of protesters in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv gathered to call for the release of hostages held in Gaza on Wednesday.
A Russian attack killed at least 7 people and injured 16 others early on Thursday in Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city. The shelling completely destroyed the printing house. There were more than 50 employees working there during the strike.
Тут велике підприємство, це фактично типографія, абсолютно цивільне, ніяких військових об'єктів ані тут, ані поруч немає. 9 ракетних ударів безпосередньо по місту Харкову, ще 3 удари по населеному пункту Люботин, це Харківський район. По місту Харкову 2 райони, Холодногірський та Основ'янський.
President Zelensky called the attack extremely cruel and renewed his frustration at not getting enough air defense systems from the West. The strike comes as Kyiv tries to fight off the most intensive cross-border incursion since the beginning of the war. Analysts say Russian troops may be even trying to get within artillery range of Kharkiv, which is home to nearly 1.5 million people. Ukraine's outnumbered and outgunned forces are being pressed at several points along the about 1,000-kilometer front line that snakes from north to south along the eastern side of the country.
The UN General Assembly has voted to establish a day recognizing the 1995 Srebrenica genocide in Bosnia and Herzegovina. 84 countries voted in favor of the motion, with 19, including Hungary, China and Russia, against. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić strongly opposed the proposal, saying it branded Serbians as genocidal mass killers.
This is not about reconciliation. This is not about memories. This is something that will just open an old wound and that will create a complete political havoc, and not only in our region, but even here in this hall.
30 years ago, Bosnian Serbs attacked the eastern town of Srebrenica, killing 8,000 Muslim Bosniak men and boys in a UN-declared safe zone. Amnesty International has come out in support for the day, but said it was long overdue. One Bosnian Serb-controlled territory leader had made repeated threats to secede from the Balkan country if the day came to fruition.
From prosthetic hands that perfectly mimic our movements to bioprinted cells that replicate human skin, AI is everywhere this year at the VivaTech conference in Paris. Thousands of startups and visitors flocked to Europe's largest trade fair for innovation and technology, which opened this Wednesday. More than 3,500 exhibitors from 120 different countries have come together for 4 days of exchanges and so much more, according to the director of VivaTech.
À VivaTech, il y a 3 grands enjeux. Le premier, c'est vraiment de découvrir, décrypter toutes les tendances actuelles de la tech et du digital. Le deuxième sujet, c'est vraiment de faire du business entre les startups, entre les grands groupes, entre les États et entre les leaders de la tech. Et le troisième sujet, c'est vraiment faire des connexions. La tech, c'est un événement international, il y a 120 pays qui viennent. Et pour nous, c'est extrêmement intéressant de faire en sorte que voilà, une startup japonaise qui est le pays de l'année, elle rencontre aussi un investisseur africain.
This year, Japan takes center stage as VivaTech's Country of the Year. The city of Tokyo is showcasing Sushi Tech, an innovative concept that seeks to develop technology and AI while simultaneously addressing environmental and urban issues.
まだ AI っていうのは始まったばっかりの技術だと思うんですよね。なので今この瞬間に5年後にこうしようとか10年後にこうしようっていう目標を決めるのはまだ早いかなと思っています。はい、じゃあ代わり何が大事かっていうと我々行政の人も含めて AI をまず自分で使うことだと思うんですよね。そういった中から AI のことがだんだん分かってきて課題も分かると思いますんでその後で初めて未来をどうしようって決めるのがいいかなと思います。
The event runs until Saturday, and this year organizers expect to welcome more than 150,000 guests for this 8th edition of VivaTech.
The layer 3.